Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Soul Illumination Year Ahead reading for the sign of Gemini. This is I Am Illuminated Tarot reading for Soul Illumination. So hi, everyone, and welcome. Now, this reading is going to be a little different than my usual readings due to the fact that we are looking at the year ahead, not just at the current energy. So I'm going to be pulling some cards to get some kind of main overarching themes that will be coming up for you in the year of 2024, which we have just entered. And then I'll be pulling some additional tarot cards, and we'll take a look at kind of the entirety of the year, starting from now until the end. And we'll pull clarifiers, and we'll go a little deeper into the message there. Okay, Gemini, let's jump right in. So let's see what's going to be a main theme for you this year. Does Gemini need to know about the main theme? Now, I am adding at the beginning of most of these readings that we are experiencing some pretty significant planetary shifts this year, kind of in preparation as well for some additionally large planetary shifts happening next year in 2025. Now, the biggest one that's coming in this year is going to be happening at the end of this month or close to the end of this month when we have Pluto moving into Aquarius, and this is a major shift. So we are all going to be feeling collectively a shift kind of that is more focused towards the greater collective experience. There's going to be probably some shakeups and advancements in technology. And so it's kind of ushering in truly when we talk about the age of Aquarius, this is really that start of that. So we're all going to be feeling that a little bit here. Now, the first card that came out for you, Gemini, is Yin with an energy of the number 2. I love this card because it really speaks to the beauty of being receptive. There is, when we think of yin and yang energy, there is the sense of the feminine energy, which is yin, and the masculine, which is yang. And there's always going to be that balance that comes into play in our life experience. So sometimes we need to embody the masculine energy, which is about pushing and initiating, taking the lead at times. And then we need to also bring in the yin energy, the feminine energy, which is about receiving, which is about holding space for the things that we would like to create. So this year, Gemini, is going to be, I think, a lot of lessons around receiving, around the beauty and the strength of the feminine energy. And with the number 2 coming in, I'm sorry, guys, I don't know what's going on with my camera, why it keeps kind of auto-focusing like that. But the number 2 is also about working with others. It's about you in relationship. And I'm really just getting intuitively how you work with support. And, are you someone who leans into support, or are you someone who maybe this is going to be that beautiful year where you get the opportunity to see who's there for you, really who will help be that supporting role in your life. So I'm going to pull the book that comes with this, and we'll dive a little deeper into this message before I pull another couple cards here. So it says Yin, essential meanings, the feminine principle of receptivity, letting someone else make the first move, gathering information and taking in cues, the art of conscious allowing. The Oracle's message. This is a time of calculated receptivity as you gracefully await what is coming to you, ready to accept it when it appears. Yin does not involve frozen dreams or even resting, but rather consciously allowing things to flow to you, poised to receive the bounty that will be made available to you. It implies sensitivity as you alertly study the actions of others. Excuse me. And contemplate how they will affect you and yours. Remember, you must make space for miracles to appear. Be the shaped, not the shaper, and you'll see how quickly your dreams manifest. Very interesting, because I feel like with all the different readings, we've had a lot of that term miracle appear in a lot of the cards that have come up. So there's that sense of this year, we're all going to be, I think, experiencing miracles, but in certain aspects of our life that are all very different. And for you, that miracle is going to come through that receptivity, through feminine empowerment. And even if you are masculine watching this, or you identify as male, it doesn't mean that you can't embrace feminine energy this year, which again is that state of conscious allowing. There's a sense of kind of just going with the flow, allowing with faith almost that the right people, the right events, the right timing for things to happen is just going to come to you. So there's a sense of almost kind of having that feeling of freedom, that feeling of taking the weight off of your shoulders, because you can just allow the good things to come to you, including a miracle. So I'm going to pull an additional card here before I pull some tarot cards. So I'll pull one more oracle to see here what is coming in for Gemini. Now this is a new deck I'm working with. This is the Wild Elemental Oracle by Michelle Matuzas. So far, I am really enjoying it. I always love getting a new deck like this. So we have Fox, number 39, which breaks down to the number 12 in numerology, which to me, for those of you who have watched many of my videos, I do speak to that as the God number, the number that really speaks to divinity and wholeness, kind of almost like the DNA, the genetic blueprint of our physical experience. But it also breaks down to the number 3, which the number 3 is about creativity. It's also about communication. I often associate the number 3 with Mercury. And obviously Gemini, Mercury is your ruling planet. So there's a sense here of kind of getting into your energy. Plus, Fox is also a quick-witted animal. This is an animal that can kind of go with the flow, highly intelligent. So there's a sense here too of kind of, that's a lot of the same attributes that Gemini holds. So let's see what Fox says here. Now, Fox is air energy, which definitely aligns with your air sign. And it says Fox attributes: shape-shifting, cleverness, observational skills, cunning, stealth, camouflage, feminine courage. So there's that energy coming in here again. It says invisibility, ability to observe unseen, persistence, gentleness, and swiftness. It says when Fox bounds into your life, she is showing you that you have the ability to solve any problem. Use all of your skills to find the answer. She can lead you to a new way of seeing the solution. Have patience and do not rush the answer, but stay quiet until you are sure you can solve the problem. Gather all the information you need. You will see the issue for what it really is, to see behind the masks and illusion. So it's almost like you're going to have this extra gift this year of really being able to, as you're kind of sitting and receiving, you might actually have that sense of maybe observing things from a new perspective, in a new light, because you're not in a state of pushing, you're in a state of allowing. That you might actually come across a solution to an answer maybe you've long been looking for that answer. And it might kind of come in one of those aha moments of, oh my gosh, the right person came in at the right time, and because I was ready to receive, because I was in a state of allowing, all of a sudden this individual holds the answer, or this new perspective I have allows me to see maybe the solution to, could be, if this is work related, maybe there's a new way of managing or organizing something. Maybe this is something where you didn't see how something was possible. Maybe the miracle is that this year you're going to see how you can make that possible. Sometimes when we think of miracles, it doesn't always have to be something like, someone magically or miraculously, coming back from terminal cancer, or winning the lottery, or something that is perceived to be almost impossible on that level. But there's a sense sometimes that the miracle is when we just shift our perspective a little bit to allow us to have the freedom to see that something is possible when we thought that door was closed, or when we thought that it wasn't. And it could just be something as simple as being free to move to a new location, being free to experience the miracle of love. There's all these little things, all these little miracles that want to come in for us. but often we're just not looking. We're not able to see them. We're not in a state of receptivity. Sometimes we actually push away miracles because we're either not ready for them or we're not, again, looking in the right place. So this is really that year, I think, where there is something that's waiting to come in for you. And the more you get into that state of conscious allowing, the more this cup is going to be full and filled by the things coming in for you, the environmental, spiritual, and probably emotional things that are coming in for you this month. Okay, now I'm going to pull I'm going to pull 3 tarot cards. Okay, oh wow. So for some of you, Gemini, this is going to be a year that is focused on home and committing to that. We have the 2 of Cups, we have the 4 of Wands, and we have the Hierophant. This can actually represent a marriage for some of you. So this very much possibly could be a year where you get married, or a year where you truly focus on the home and family and committing to that, because the 4 of Wands represents any type of foundation that is built from a place of passion and which can be celebrated by others. So this could be a marriage, or a wedding. This could be just focusing on the home and building the joy and the foundation, and kind of maybe even a refocus or a recommitment to the home and family. The Hierophant is what we commit to. It's the rules, it's the higher organizations that we choose to commit to following. And the 2 of Cups is that beautiful union of 2 people coming together on equal footing who are ready to be there to support each other. And that's really the number 2 coming through here with the Yin card. So beautiful energy. This is going to be a year where you are connecting with others. This could be a year where you're getting married. This could be a year where you are recommitting to home and partnership. This could even be for some of you, if this is not related to the home, although I do feel very much that it is, this could be even recommitting to a business partnership. The 4 of Wands could actually be the foundation for a business. The 2 of Cups could be intimately connecting with others. It could be networking. It could also be having a business partner come in. And the Hierophant can be that you're choosing, again, to commit to that. You're choosing to maybe submit your business registration licenses, things along those lines. Okay, so let's jump in here and we're going to take a look at... We're going to pull some tarot cards to take a look at the energy spread throughout the year. So we'll kind of look at what you're starting with, what you'll be looking at in the middle of the year, and then we'll be looking at kind of what to expect by December. So let's see. What does... Okay, that's a little too much here. Let's see if we can get the cards to come out. Just a few at a time here. What does Gemini need to expect for the year ahead? Ooh, cards all over. Okay, so, oh, I love it. Knight of Cups. Okay, that's the perfect energy to be starting the year off with, especially one where if it is a recommitment or committing to home and family and a committed partnership, no one better to do that than the Knight of Cups. And there's strength. We have the Page of Swords, which it's all about being curious, and there's that gathering more information. In fact, the Page of Swords is pretty much the tarot card version of the description for the Fox card here. It's about someone who's curious, someone who's gathering information, maybe even someone who's kind of behind the scenes. Sometimes it can be seen as a spy because they are sometimes kind of covert behind the scenes trying to gather facts or the truth. Okay, we have the Death and Rebirth card. I love that in this deck specifically, the Death card actually states death and rebirth. So there's that sense of understanding that when something is taken away, it is not lost. It is making room for something to come into this world. Okay. So the Knight of Cups is beautiful energy because it is the energy of the hopeful romantic. It is someone who's ready to go out there on the romantic adventure, the romantic quest. Ooh. Okay, let's see here. Let's get these cards out on the table. A couple that fell off the table. Oh, goodness. Yeah, you guys, ooh, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And I'm actually going to put this here because that came out over, and these two, it's interesting. This kind of came out similarly, I think, for, it was Taurus, I believe. Okay, so bottom of the deck, 10 of Cups. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of joy this year for you, Gemini. Now, we have coming after the Page of Swords, we have the Death and Rebirth card, the Knight of Wands, and then the Ace of Wands. Beautiful. And the Ace of Wands is creation. This is either finding the spark within. This could be you literally giving birth. Some of you, that could be here, the Ace of Wands, or finding out that you're pregnant. But this could also be the start of a new business. This could be rekindling the flame within through really connecting to that sense of freedom and adventure with the Knight of Wands energy. Beautiful energy here. So we start off the year here with the Nine of Cups, and the Nine of Cups is really where you get to that place of making a wish from what your heart yearns for. And I think for many of you, the Knight of Cups, there's this Piscean energy of really wanting to go on that romantic quest, to meet someone that you can be cup to cup with, where you're ready to hold your cup out to the world. That's what the Knight of Cups does, and that's the yin energy. That is the cup that the Knight holds. And he's ready to have others come and meet him with his cup. Now, with strength, this is definitely saying that this might be difficult for you. If we go through difficult times in our life where we have been hurt or where we've been in a state of continually pushing, maybe you've been in masculine energy for quite some time, and then to suddenly have to kind of reverse that and put yourself in more of a vulnerable position with the feminine energy, with allowing things to happen as they will, with allowing others to come in and support you. Sometimes that can be more difficult than when we put ourselves in a state of initiating, when we put ourselves in a state of taking the lead, of being the one to maybe be the one to help others. And when that card or that place is kind of reversed for us, that can be where we really are sitting in that place of having to kind of dig deep, to have the strength, basically the faith that comes from strength and the internal confidence and knowing that, again, what will come to you will come to you. And with that, the Ten of Cups coming in, what that's going to look like is very beautiful. And for many of you, when we think of the Nine of Cups to the Ten of Cups, this is, in the Nine of Cups, we make that wish. We say, this, my ultimate, my life is wonderful. I have so much to be grateful for, but there's that one cup left that would turn the Nine of Cups into the Ten of Cups, which is the happy family card, which is I'm getting to touch a little piece of perfection on earth on the emotional plane. And I think for many of you with the Page of Swords coming in, there's going to be at some point towards the middle of the year, there's going to be this sense of wanting to gather more information about something, wanting to, if there is a sense of kind of putting yourself in this vulnerable state, there may be that point where you actually do see the truth of something a little differently. And you might realize, I need to gather a little more information now. I'm seeing something from a different perspective, and it's time for me to maybe gain context on a new truth, because that is also what the Page of Swords does. The Page of Swords holds the Ace of Swords, which is a truth. It's a revelation. It's clarity around an aspect of your experience. But the Page of Swords is ready to go out and say, okay, but what is this in relation to my larger experience? This could be where, let's say you do want to go out there and I don't know, share your business with other people. This could be the sense of where you're trying to gain more information. You're like, okay, I'm going to have the strength of courage to realize that this is a dream of mine. I want to share what I'm passionate about with others. I'm ready to be vulnerable and allow help to come in where it's needed. But I also realize I need to truly gather more information. Where does this truth, this revelation fit in now with how I'm moving forward. This can also be maybe where if you are finding out that you're getting married or you're pregnant, there's that sense of realizing, okay, I'm moving forward to that with, optimism and hope, but I also need to understand what this is going to imply in my life. How is my life going to change? Do I need to apply for a marriage license? Do I need to start figuring out how to take care of a child, an infant, when they're born? It's one of those kinds of things. And you're realizing, how is my life going to shift? And that is where I think the death and rebirth comes in there, where you're going to realize that there are certain aspects of your life that are going to fall away because of this shift, because of a refocusing. And what is that going to then bring in for you? So this could be, where you're realizing, wow, I am going to have to change my work routine because I am about to have a child. Or I realize, oh my gosh, I'm getting married and we're moving in together. And that means that there's a death of the person I was as a single person. And now I'm realizing I'm being reborn as someone who is in a committed relationship. Or it's time for me to release a home I've lived in for a long time, to be able to realize there's a sense with the Knight of Wands coming in here too, right after. There could actually be, for some of you, a move or movement or travel. Towards the end of the year, there could be some traveling happening here, very much so. That's not going to be for everybody, but there's almost a sense with death and rebirth that for some of you, you might be releasing a part of yourself that either A, didn't allow you to travel, or B, there's a part of yourself that's been waiting to be free, waiting to be the Knight of Wands, which is someone who gets to go out there and play with what they're passionate about. They get to go out there and experience new things. And in doing so, they get to learn more about themselves and their entire experience. There's a sense of freedom that comes with the Knight of Wands. It's a Sagittarian energy. It's beautiful energy. It's fiery. It's passionate. It's soul-seeking, truth-seeking as well. And there's a sense here for many of you, I think, that there's almost like this realization of trying to gather more information in how you can kind of reform something into allowing you to, hold space for freedom, fun, and inspiration. And for some of you, this could be actually a child. This could be getting into that place of, I'm going to free my schedule up to be with my child, or I'm going to free myself up to follow my passion, to follow that spark that's been lit within. Okay, so let's pull some clarifiers here for the cards on the table before I pull a final card. Okay, let's see, what does Gemini need to know about the Knight and the Nine of Cups here? Ooh, so many. Okay, so ironically, we have the Knight of Coins and the Knight of Cups again. So this is saying, now this could be you with another individual. The Knight of Pentacles is Virgo energy. This is the energy of careful planning, of taking an opportunity, which is the coin that he's holding there, the pentacle, and really having that long-term vision for putting a plan in place. So this is kind of the slow and steady wins the race energy. And the Knight of Cups is the individual who would be side by side with him, but the one who would be the uplifting sidekick, who would be there to say, we can do this. we can make this happen together. And there's a sense here maybe for some of you where there's an embodying of these two energies. It could even be aligning these two energies where you're realizing, I really want to go on this, I want to go out there and meet the love of my life, or I want to go out there and I'm excited about getting married, and I'm entering this year hopeful about that. But now I'm also going to put in the plan in place. I'm not going to rush anything. I'm going to be steady. And if this is you working with someone else, this is a beautiful partnership. You guys are kind of in the same place. You're both knights, so you're both in a place of movement. You're both in a place of the same level of learning as well. Let's see here. Let's see what you need to know about the Strength card. Okay, so we have with strength, we have the Two of Swords. Yeah, this is having the strength to make a decision, and to see. Okay, yes, and here's the Four of Wands. Yeah, for some of you, for those of you who there might be a decision that needs to be made around getting married. There's with the Two of Swords, this is where we're kind of in that place of indecision. It's like, should we do this or should we do that? And sometimes it can be where we're not ready to make a decision. So we kind of tell ourselves we can't see, we don't know if we should or shouldn't. And with the Two of Swords, though, and the Four of Wands, I think for some of you, there's this element of really realizing, like, yes, this is what I want to do. I do want to commit to getting married. Or, this could even just be for some of you, you might be in the place where you're ready to get married. You might be with somebody, and this might be a conversation that you have together. This could be where perhaps there is nobody in your life at this point, but this is what you would love. You're realizing this is what you want to bring in for yourself. This is the romantic adventure, the romantic quest you want to start this year to bring in the love of your life, or to work towards marriage, or having this firm foundation. And there's a sense here having the strength to choose that, to admit that to yourself, that this is part of your truth. Because with the Two of Swords, there's a sense of looking at two swords, which is two truths or two choices, and not being able to see which one is more in alignment with your truth, or that feels more true to you. And yet what this card asks is having to get you out of your head and into your heart, into your intuition, which is very much the yin energy as well, right? When we think about the feminine energy, that is really much more aligned with intuition, with the heart space. And so there's that sense here of having the strength to trust your intuition, having the strength to trust your heart, to choose whatever this Four of Wands represents for you, whether it is marriage, whether it is a future commitment to something along those lines, or whether this is perhaps the foundation of building towards something you are passionate about, like a business. Okay, let's see here. Let's see about the Page of Swords. So I think once you guys make that choice, then you get to enter into the Page of Swords, which is like saying, okay, I made that choice. I'm committing to getting married, but now I need to see how to make that happen. Or now I need to see how is that going to change my life? Let's see here, but let's see what wants to actually come in. What does Gemini need to know? I have the Two of Coins. Yeah, you're trying to gather more information as to changing a routine, how you're going to change how you structure your day-to-day experience. That's what the Two of Pentacles really speaks to, the juggling of our day-to-day tasks and how we prioritize. And for many of you, you're realizing you want to prioritize your 10 of Cups. Whatever that 10 of Cups is for you, that could be, again, the home, the family, the whole 9 yards when we think about it like that. It could be, the 10 of Cups could be, again, maybe having a business, and you've always wanted to be a business owner, and that's like the last piece of the puzzle for you. Whatever this is, but there's a sense of really realizing that you want to prioritize if you want to prioritize the 10 of Cups, you're trying to see how you're going to have to commit differently to the tasks that you perform in your day-to-day, the routine, where and how you spend time. That is the Two of Pentacles. And oftentimes the Two of Pentacles can really speak to having to make that choice. Do I commit to this pentacle or that pentacle? And for some of you, you might be choosing one over the other. This could be where you realize, wow, part of my 10 of Cups is spending more time with my family, or part of my 10 of Cups is building a business that will support my family, or that will support my inner passion, my fire. But there is something here around really gaining clarity as to how to maybe reprioritize or change a routine in your life to prioritize your 10 of Cups. And that the person to do that is the Knight of Pentacles. That's the perfect individual to say, you know what, let's look at the long-term goal and let's see how we can just tweak some things here and there in a day-to-day to help us get to that long-term goal. Okay, so let's see here for death and rebirth. So we have the Four of Cups. Yeah, there's a sense of maybe for some of you, yes, beautiful. There is a rebirth here. So at some point I think in the probably recent past, or it could be distant past, there was a time when you went through a 10 of Swords moment and it was very difficult. 10 of Swords is where there's a lot of pain involved, where we have been kind of at that lowest point where it's really like, oh, we can only go up from here. But there's always an implied Ace of Swords with the 10 of Swords, because there's that sense of that you survived that time. That yes, this individual had 10 swords in their back, literally. And so there is a how would we say, a symbolic death. But then that individual keeps going, that when there is no other place to go but up, they are able to they start a new cycle. The 10s end a cycle, and then we have the Ace of Swords that begin that next cycle. And that Ace of Swords is a new truth. And there's a sense of realizing, there's a big shift here in a realization for you this year, Gemini, as to what was that truth that came out of the pain of the past. And how did that, for some of you, that really, I think, brought you to a point or to a place where you realized just kind of how dissatisfied or emotionally disconnected you were with your life experience. Because that's what the Four of Cups speaks to. It's like where we're kind of just like meh about our life. There's not a sense of that emotional connection. We're just kind of, we feel like we're the outsider looking in on enjoying our life experience. And I think for many of you, there's this opportunity to transform that into like doubling down on feeling the fire in your life, doubling down on living a life that's full of passion, where maybe that has been up to this point a little lacking. Because here you get to rebirth literally yourself, your entire life experience. It's almost like finally releasing that version of yourself that was here in the 10 of Swords and coming out triumphant. There's a realization here, I think, for many of you, and just maybe where there was a lack of freedom for a long period of time in relation to this pain, or where there was kind of just a sense of like, just going through the motions. So, and then we have the Five of Cups with the Knight of Wands. Now, for some of you, this might be, again, with the Five of Cups, this might be where maybe you had in the past, there's almost like a bittersweet quality about the Knight of Wands coming in here with the Five of Cups on top. There's a sense of, for some of you, looking back at a past version of yourself, we were like, oh my God, I was so free back then. I was a, youthful spirit, it's kind of like, I was the wild child or the flower child. And then maybe at some point, life kind of got in the way. And maybe now you're realizing it's almost like this kind of bittersweet thing of saying, oh my gosh, I'm finally getting what I've always wanted. I have the freedom now to really enjoy this zest in life again. But it brings up the memories of either a past version of yourself, or it brings up the memories of when and why you weren't always able to have this part of yourself present, or to live your life from this free place. And then there's the Ace of Cups, beautiful. There's the rebirth. The Ace of Cups to me is truly a spiritual rebirth. This is when we get to reconnect with our soul in a new and refreshed way. Like when we think of, being born again, or when people get baptized and they feel like who they were before is washed away. That is what the Ace of Cups represents. It represents also a new emotional connection to your life experience through love, through the love of yourself and through the love that you get to share with others. This can often indicate a new love coming into your life as well. So there may be something here for some of you. There could be a Sagittarius coming into your life that may actually be kind of awakening this whole experience for you. But this also could just be, again, that this part of you is coming forward. This part of you, it gets to be what is being born again, the free and fiery soul. And let's see here with the Ace of Wands, we have the Page of Pentacles. I love that. There's a sense of going out there to share your inspiration, to share whatever this flame is lit by. There's a sense of being curious as well, of really opening yourself up to the offering of a skill set out there into the world, where this is like learning through direct experience, but from a curious, kind of almost childlike, playful way of saying, I've always done it a certain way, but I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to go out there and just see what I can do with this. There's a sense of, yes, and here's the Chariot. I love it. Yep, getting into the driver's seat and moving towards what will ultimately feel like home for you. The individual in the Chariot here is the Emperor. He gets in, he gets his head and heart in alignment, which are the two horses, and he starts to move towards his 10 of Cups. So there's a sense here for so many of you that there's almost like this realization at the start of the year. You're prepared for that romantic quest. You are prepared to make the decision to commit to this Four of Wands, whatever that represents for you. Then you get the chance to really come in here and reorganize your life and your schedule to prioritize the 10 of Cups. Whatever that ultimate heart's fulfillment is for you, you get the chance to make that happen, to build more room in your life for that. You also get a chance to finally release the pain of the past and any place where you are emotionally disconnected, and you get to be reborn through a renewal in your divine connection to the self through love. And there's a lot of freedom, a lot of passion, a lot of fire that comes in. And with that comes this beautiful chance to really get your life moving in a way that is around this new inspiration. There's a sense of whatever this Ace of Wands is, whether it's finding out you're pregnant, whether it's giving birth, whether it's having that divine inspiration of, oh my gosh, this is that business idea. This is what lights my fire. This is the individual I want to spend the rest of my life with. There's a sense of saying, let's go out there and make it happen. Let's get this cart moving. Beautiful, beautiful energy. Okay, so I'm going to pull a final card here for Power of Surrender to see what wants to come in for you guys as a final note. Ooh, if I can get them to get together here. Oh, I love it. Beautiful. So you have surrender unhealthy relationships. It says, let go of relationships that don't serve you, including unavailable or toxic people. You deserve to be treasured by others and to be surrounded by positive people. Absolutely beautiful. And this is really, when I see this image, this immediately made me think of the 10 of Swords here. The 10 of Swords and the 4 of Cups and the 5 of Cups. There's this sense of really getting down to that place of getting rid of any relationship that might have either been tied to this 10 of Swords, to this very painful past, or to anyone who resembles someone who might have might have known the old version of you and not the version of you that you're becoming. There's this sense of the true freedom of spirit coming through here. And this is a year where you are going to be tested to see who is there to support you, who is there kind of on equal footing with you as you share your new cup with others. And when we do that, there can be a sense of realizing that old connections or old relationships, it's time to release them. It's time to allow those relationships to kind of go through the death phase so that you can allow something new to come in their place. I mean, this could even be for those of you who maybe are committing to a marriage or committing to a new individual in your life. It could be that it's time to finally release maybe the pain of a past relationship that still kind of haunts you. Or it can be, if this is around maybe like recommitting to a home life or recommitting to a family, there could be a sense here of maybe any past pain that was related to maybe a prior time or a different version of yourself. It's time to finally release that, to kind of clear the way for this beautiful renewal, rebirth. And for some of you, with the Ace of Cups and the Ace of Wands, that could be a brand new, beautiful relationship in love. That could be a new start with a child, a parent-child dynamic, but this is just love. This is the spark within, inspiration, creativity, creation, and the Ace of Cups, that soul connection to love. And again, what the love of yourself, and therein the love that you can then share with others. Beautiful energy. I hope you all have a wonderful 2024, Gemini. With this layout here, many of you will. Does not mean that there's not going to be trials and tribulations, but I do see a beautiful year ahead for you that is so filled with love and new beginnings and a level of freedom and inspiration that is not always found for us. So I hope you enjoy that. If you'd like to book your own personal reading to take a look at the 2024 year for you specifically, you can click on the link in the description box below to visit my website. Otherwise, I will see you all in your next illumination reading. Bye, Gemini.